Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your September 2017 tarot reading. Okay, so I've pulled quite a bit of reversed cards. So yeah, it's kind of a difficult reading, Cancer. I'm gonna be honest. It's a little bit I mean, I'm going to be as objective as possible with it. So I hope that some of it resonates. I feel like those of you who are having a really hard time right now might find some comfort in this reading. But I'm really sorry for those who, are having a difficult time. If you are having a difficult time, I really hope this reading helps you out in some way. That's always kind of my goal when I do make readings. So, okay. So it feels like just recently, for some of you, there's been a big, I would say, destabilization in your relationships. So something that has fallen apart a little bit. Something that, was being built has kind of fallen apart or gone sour, and you're having a pretty difficult time with this. But you know what, I have to say, based on these cards, it looks like Cancers, you're kind of analyzing everything on a really practical and logical basis. You're not really letting your emotions go absolutely nuts right now, which is great. So I just want to let you know that you're doing a good job at being level-headed. I'm kind of getting the vibe that you are almost like finding coping strategies that are actually working. And even though there's a lot of difficulty going on, I just feel like you are staying grounded and central. And for those of you who, are not going through something really big, I'm just getting a bit of a vibe like some things have been pretty challenging thus far. And going into the month of September, you're a little bit overwhelmed with all the things that are not going as smoothly as they can be. So, for those of you who have had this some kind of like it's like a breakup, or like or somebody in your environment who was married who's like getting divorced or had a solid relationship and are breaking up. It feels like this doesn't really come as like a big surprise. So there's no like shock in it. Like it's kind of like it's been building up for a while. Like other there were other like large conflicts around it. There was constant instability. So it's almost like the with something being on the verge of breaking or has already broken, it's like you kind of understand, like you understand why it's happening. Not to say that it's not upsetting, it's just like you're not like, oh, how is that happening? You understand why it's happening. And at the present moment, I feel like some of you are even though, like I said, you're coping emotionally quite well, I feel like there's a tendency of being a little harsh with your words. There's definitely a lot of bickering or drama going on. And I feel like, you might be, Cancers, you might be like this time getting a bit more defensive than you usually would and being a little bit more abrupt and harsh with your words. And it might be a way that you are protecting yourself. And usually I would say, it's important to kind of face exactly what you're feeling and not take it out on others. But, I actually am going to say that it's okay if you do that a little bit, because this situation is difficult, and I feel like some of you just have to say it like it is to some people. And I think that is I almost want to say that that is like okay as long as you don't go crazy with it, but like a little bit of it here and there can actually strengthen your position, because I feel like, you might have just gotten tired of being the pushover all the time, and now you're taking control. However, while that is happening, your main challenge right now is like, amidst all this stuff that's going on, you're like, okay, you're struggling to stay inspired at work, and you're struggling to kind of like, I feel like some of you might be stressed at work and it's negatively affecting your income or your work relationships. And I feel like some of you, I'm getting this message, some of you have like had like some kind of like an idea, like a business idea or an artistic idea. And because of this instability that's going on either in the family or relationships, you're kind of like, you're just not taking the idea to the next step because there's like other things going on. And I think the cards are telling you that, it might actually be good to maybe focus on that a little bit. Even though it is challenging, it's challenging taking that next step, but I think that you have all the tools to do it. And I almost like, I'm getting this weird message that like, it's like some of you guys might be asking like, wow, why am I not crying as much as I should be? Why am I not as upset as I should be? And I think my advice to you is don't force it upon yourself. So don't like keep thinking about something to the point that you're like, okay, I cried, so I feel like myself. I feel like I'm responding to this the right way. Because I think you're responding to this really well. I think it's very mature how you're responding to this. You might be a little bit in a mess, a little bit dazed, but nonetheless, I think that basically the message is don't force yourself into an emotional rut. Try to focus on what was happening in your life before this started falling apart. Okay, so the one kind of concern that I think, okay, I'm definitely concerned about your career because I feel like it is affecting your career somehow. And you feel like, here's the thing, it's just not fair because you feel like because of other people's bullcrap, basically, you're experiencing losses at work and stuff like that. And I think the cards are saying like, don't think about everything at once. Try to focus on your individual, like, okay, today I want to complete this piece for this specific task, and I want to finish that, and then just take it bit by bit. Because I feel like if you start analyzing like, oh my god, my work relationships are falling apart, everything's falling apart, like, I don't know how to do this, you're going to start getting discouraged, and it's going to lead you to feeling spiritually drained, and it's going to make you feel like nothing's happening, you're not going anywhere. Because I think it's like you're going to have to do a little bit of realigning with yourself and kind of like getting back into the alignment of who you really are. And starting small, I think that's the message. Start small with that. Don't think that you have to jump right back into being your old self, and right back into your routine and being at the top of everything. You just need to start taking small steps towards that. And as long as you do that, you will be spiritually in line, and that is going to help everything else. It's going to help the work situation. It's going to help everything. So start small. Don't think like, oh my God, I'm so out of alignment. I don't know what to do. I don't feel like myself. Just remember, there has been a bit of a ruckus in your life. So take it slow and everything will be okay. I'm feeling that, there was some kind of a loss involved with the recent events. So I feel like there was some kind of like a dream or fantasy or some kind of an emotional association you had with something, like a very deep emotional desire for something, and it's kind of like it's something is passing, something is over your, and I feel like you're having a hard time really facing that it's over. So you're still thinking about the fantasy so much, and like it's definitely affecting your day-to-day like work stuff. So I think if you can slowly start facing the situation and starting small by rebuilding yourself, you will feel much better really soon. And definitely someone else's burden has been placed on you. So this burden is coming off, but you kind of almost like have to assist the burden to come off. It's like you are still carrying this burden even though you don't have to anymore. The cards are definitely encouraging, like, let it go. Let it go, because there is something else out there for you. You still have you still have what you spiritually really want and need. So whatever this is right now, even if it was in a pretty package, it was really just only you carrying a weight, and you may have not even realized that because you've been so strong about it. And I'm finding you're having a difficult time resting. Like, you're always spinning in your head right now, and you're like anxious, and you don't want a moment alone. And I think that's okay, but maybe if you could ease your way into being alone, like if you could watch something you really like or something like that, something that really maybe something mentally stimulating that you can do alone without feeling like you're lonely. But I'm sensing a strong fear of being alone, being left alone. But you know what? The cards are saying that whatever this is, you're eventually going to drop the burden. And, I feel like the cards are encouraging you to do that. There's no point of waiting. If you're waiting for something, if you're in a stagnation, there's really no point, because I'm telling you guys, what you really want and really need is there. You just kind of need to realign yourself and work on your own self so that you can attract that back in, because right now you're still, carrying this load. I'm sensing that some of you people feel like you need to do something for somebody, and for some of you it's just kind of time to let it go. And the cards are saying, like, holy cow, you still have the whole world, the whole basically your whole life to get what you really want and to feel how you really want to feel. So this burdensome situation, it's going to pass. Even if right now it feels kind of messy, it's going to pass. It's already coming to an end. That's what I'm getting. And it's all going to work out. You just need to focus on little baby steps, and especially little baby steps in what you are creating on a regular basis. So your career, whatever you do, whatever kind of job, you have, if you're, just pouring coffee for work, I feel like you can really get inspired and really be present there, and that's going to start getting you out of it. I feel like focusing on your work, but not in a negative way, not in a way like, oh my gosh, I'm so behind in work. Just taking those little baby steps and finding the rhythm again. That is what you need to work on. So that's all I have for you for today, and I hope to speak to you guys for your next month's reading. So I hope that resonated in some way, and have a good month.